Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be tackling some smart strategies for managing credit limits and budgets,
Oh, yeah.
all pulled from a recent article by Maping Money.
I saw that one.
And this isn't just about like crunching numbers and,
Right.
being super strict with your money.
Yeah.
It's really about unlocking financial freedom and
Exactly.
taking control of your financial future.
It's about empowerment.
So buckle up,
Yeah.
because we're about to break down some seriously empowering insights with our resident expert here.
Well, I'm excited to dive into this. This article really resonated with me.
Yeah.
It really reframes budgeting and credit management as tools for empowerment rather than restrictions,
Right.
like you were saying.
So let's dive into that first key concept,
Okay.
understanding your credit limit.
Okay.
So why is this so important?
Well, think of it this way. Knowing your credit limit isn't just about avoiding overdraft fees.
Mm-hmm.
It's about feeling empowered to make conscious financial choices. It's about having a clear understanding of your financial boundaries so you can confidently navigate your spending
Okay.
and plan for your goals.
So it's not just about the numbers.
Right.
It's about taking the reins of your financial future and feeling in control.
Exactly. The article highlights this key insight.
Go.
Understanding your credit limit helps you avoid overspending, dodge unnecessary interest charges, and plan effectively for those bigger purchases you've been dreaming of.
Speaking of planning, the article also mentions tracking your spending against your credit limit.
Yes.
How can this help us make smarter decisions?
Think of tracking as a financial reality check.
Oh.
By regularly checking in and seeing how your spending aligns with your limit, you become much more aware of your habits. You start to notice those impulse buys that might be holding you back and can critically assess whether your purchases truly align with your goals.
It's all about being mindful and intentional with our spending, right?
Absolutely. And that mindfulness can lead to some pretty amazing results. It can help you avoid debt, achieve those financial milestones you've been working towards, and even transform your entire financial landscape, just like the article suggests.
I love that. Now that we've unpacked credit limits,
Okay.
let's move on to another crucial element of financial well-being,
All right.
crafting a realistic budget.
I like it.
The article makes it clear that this is the foundation for financial freedom.
And they emphasize that a good budget isn't about deprivation or restriction.
Right.
It's about creating a plan that truly reflects your income and expenses without feeling like you're constantly sacrificing.
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot where you can enjoy life and still stay on track financially.
So where do we even begin? What are the first steps to creating a budget that actually works?
The article lays out a clear roadmap.
Okay.
First, list out all your income sources,
Okay.
everything that comes in each month.
Uh-huh.
Track your expenses,
Right.
separating them into two categories. Fixed expenses like rent or loan payments, and variable expenses like groceries and entertainment that tend to fluctuate.
Okay, so once we have a clear picture of our income and expenses,
Yes.
what's next?
Now comes the fun part, prioritization. This is where you get to decide how you want to allocate your funds.
Yeah.
Do you value travel experiences? Maybe you prioritize dining out with friends or investing in your hobbies, whatever it is.
Okay.
A realistic budget allows you to enjoy those things while still managing your finances responsibly.
So it's not about cutting out all the fun. It's about making choices that align with our values.
Right, precisely. And a key part of that is remembering to include a buffer for unexpected expenses. Life throws curveballs.
Yeah.
So having that cushion built into your budget is crucial for staying on track, even when unexpected costs arise.
That makes total sense.
Yes.
And it all ties back to that theme of empowerment we discussed earlier.
Right.
A well-crafted budget should feel liberating. It's not restrictive.
Yeah.
It should give you the confidence to pursue your financial goals without feeling stressed about money. So we've tackled understanding our credit limits and crafting a budget that reflects our values.
Yes.
What's the next step in this financial journey? What does the article recommend for staying on track and maintaining control?
Well, it's all about vigilance.
Okay.
We need to move from the planning phase to the action phase and actively monitor our spending to make sure we're sticking to our budget and achieving our goals.
Sounds like we're about to get into some practical tips.
Absolutely. The article has some great advice for monitoring your spending effectively, and this is where technology becomes your ally.
Okay, tell me more.
Imagine having a financial dashboard right in your pocket. Budgeting apps do just that. They track your every expense in real time, often categorizing your spending, so you can easily spot trends
Uh-huh.
and make adjustments as needed. Think of it like a personal finance assistant that helps you stay on top of your money.
I've heard great things about budgeting apps, but I have to admit I'm still a pen and paper kind of person.
Really?
Does the article offer any advice for
Yeah.
those of us who prefer a more traditional approach?
It absolutely does. Even if you prefer the tactile experience of a handwritten budget,
Okay.
the article suggests incorporating weekly spending reviews into your routine.
So taking a little time each week to
Yeah.
reflect on our spending habits and see where we're at.
Exactly. It's a chance to celebrate your wins, identify any areas where you might be overspending,
Uh-huh.
and just generally stay connected to your financial flow. I think that reflection piece is so valuable for maintaining awareness
Right.
and making adjustments as needed.
It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and lose sight of the bigger picture.
Totally.
So I love that idea of a weekly check-in. Now, the article mentions one more strategy for staying on top of our spending, right?
Ah, yes. Setting up alerts.
Okay.
This is where you can really leverage technology to keep yourself accountable. Imagine you could get a gentle nudge.
When you're approaching your budget limit for a certain category, or if a particular spending area starts to spike unexpectedly.
So it's like having a little financial guardian angel looking out for us.
Exactly. It helps you stay aware of your spending habits in real time and make adjustments before things get out of hand. These strategies are all about fostering awareness and accountability, which ultimately leads to better financial health.
And speaking of connections, the article wraps up with a really helpful FAQ section
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
that addresses some common questions and concerns about credit limits and budgets.
I was wondering if we were going to get to that.
Ready to dive into those?
Let's do it.
All right, let's jump into those FAQs.
Okay.
The first one addresses a question many of us have probably wondered about: how to negotiate a higher credit limit with our bank.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
And the article emphasizes the importance of preparation.
Okay.
Gather your financial information. Demonstrate a history of responsible credit use.
And approach your bank with confidence. It's about showcasing yourself as a reliable borrower who deserves that higher limit.
So it's not just about asking.
Right.
It's about presenting a strong case that highlights our creditworthiness.
Exactly. It's all about showcasing your value as a customer.
Okay.
Now, the next FAQ tackles those moments when we might slip up and exceed our credit limit.
Yeah.
How does the article suggest we handle that situation?
That's a situation many of us can probably relate to.
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts?
The article frames it in a really empowering way.
Okay.
It encourages us to view exceeding our limit as a wake-up call, not a failure.
Okay.
It's a chance to reassess our spending,
Right.
adjust our budget if needed, and most importantly, communicate openly with our bank about the situation.
I love that perspective. It's about taking ownership and finding solutions,
Right.
rather than dwelling on the setback.
For sure.
Now let's talk about credit scores.
Okay.
The FAQ section also addresses that age-old question. Do our credit limits affect our credit scores?
Yes, they absolutely do. The article explains that exceeding your credit limit increases your credit utilization ratio.
Okay.
Think of this ratio like a gauge that measures how much of your available credit you're using. A high credit utilization ratio can negatively impact your score, signaling to lenders that you might be relying too heavily on credit.
So keeping those balances well below our limit is crucial for maintaining a healthy credit profile.
Absolutely.
What are some strategies we can use to manage that ratio effectively?
Being mindful of your spending habits is key.
Okay.
Tracking your expenses,
Yeah.
sticking to your budget, and making payments on time can all help keep your credit utilization low
Yeah.
and your credit score healthy.
Great.
Now, this next FAQ might seem a bit counterintuitive.
Okay.
What are the benefits of lowering our credit limit?
That does seem a bit surprising. Why would we want to lower our credit limit?
It might seem strange at first, but the article highlights some compelling advantages.
Okay.
Think of it like a preemptive strike against overspending. By lowering your available credit, you reduce the temptation to overspend and create a built-in safeguard against racking up unnecessary debt. It's a way to set yourself up for success and encourage mindful spending habits.
I like that. It's a proactive approach to managing our finances.
Exactly.
And it can potentially improve our credit score
Yes.
by lowering that credit utilization ratio we talked about earlier.
Exactly. It's all about creating a financial environment that supports your goals and helps you build healthy credit habits.
Now, the last FAQ addresses something we touched on earlier.
Okay.
How often should we be reviewing our budgets?
That's an important question. The article suggests a monthly review as the ideal frequency.
Okay.
This allows you to stay on top of your spending patterns, make adjustments for any changes in your income or expenses, and ensure that your budget is still aligned with your overall financial goals. It's like a regular check-in with your financial self, making sure everything is running smoothly and making course corrections as needed.
It's like a financial self-care routine.
Exactly.
And speaking of self-care, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
What are your key takeaways from exploring these FAQs?
For me, it reinforces the importance of proactive financial management. It's about taking control, making informed decisions, and seeking solutions when challenges arise. It's about remembering that we have the power to shape our financial future, one choice at a time.
I totally agree. It's empowering to realize that we have agency over our finances.
Yes.
Now, before we wrap up this episode, is there anything else that stood out to you from the article or the FAQs?
You know, what I found particularly insightful was the way the article seamlessly connected credit limits, realistic budgeting, and regular spending monitoring. It highlighted how these elements work together to create a holistic approach to financial well-being. It's not about focusing on one aspect in isolation, but rather understanding the interconnectedness of it all and creating a financial ecosystem that supports our overall goals.
It's like weaving together different threads to create a strong and resilient financial tapestry.
Exactly. It's about creating a financial life that aligns with our values, empowers us to achieve our dreams, and ultimately brings us greater peace of mind.
Well said. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I'd love to leave our listener with a final thought to ponder. As we wrap up this deep dive into smart financial strategies, we want to leave you with a challenge.
Yeah.
What's one small step you can take today to feel more in control of your finances?
It could be something as simple as downloading a budgeting app and taking it for a test drive.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe it's finally having that conversation with your bank about your credit limit.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Or perhaps it's just taking a moment to reflect on your financial aspirations, to really define what financial freedom means to you.
Because sometimes the most powerful step is simply acknowledging that you have the power to make a change.
Totally. It's about shifting from feeling overwhelmed to feeling empowered.
Yeah. And I think this deep dive has given us all the tools and insights we need
Yeah, for sure.
to start making those positive changes.
I agree.
It's been a pleasure unpacking these concepts with you.
Likewise.
A huge thank you to our expert for sharing their incredible insights and to you for joining us on this journey of financial discovery. Remember, financial well-being is a journey, not a destination. So be kind to yourself, celebrate your progress, and never stop learning. Until next time, keep those deep dive spirits high.